Hello everyone, I am Tacet, and today I'm going to be going over teams to use within the Pet Rescue minigame. Of course, the Pet Rescue has 8 individual battles that keep getting increasingly more difficult, with the level being shown in the top left corner there. The final 2 battles of which are quite difficult for the average player to be able to defeat, especially if you don't have some of the better cards. So I'll basically be going over a couple teams that you can be using for this. As far as getting a Pet Rescue in the first place, you will have 2 different ways that you can get a Pet Rescue active. One is the current one that we have active right now. Once a week, there will be a 24-hour long Pet Rescue. This is going to be the easiest way for most people to be able to get pets, since it's not time restricted in any kind of way that would be too difficult to do, as you do have 24 hours, which is plenty of time compared to the normal one, and in which case you'll have all that time in order to complete out the Pet Rescue event if you so choose. Another way of doing it is if there currently is not a Pet Rescue active, you can find a Pet Gnome. A Pet Gnome can be found within Ranked PvP, Casual PvP, or in the Arena minigame. All three of these locations, if you don't currently have one active, and if anyone in your entire guild finds one, it'll trigger a Pet Rescue event for an entire hour for your guild. It only lasts for 1 hour, so a very long duration of time. If you're not on during that hour, you wouldn't be able to get anything, but similar to any Pet Rescue event, it works the exact same way, just within a 1 hour restriction, which you'd have 1 hour to complete out these 8 battles, meaning whatever teams you end up choosing, you'd want to be able to make sure that they can defeat all 8 of these battles within 1 hour or less, most times less, because if you're just logging in and you only have like 30 minutes left, of course you'll need to win a little bit quicker than that, but of course you'd have all 8 of those battles. Even if you don't win all of them, just completing out some of them is still good, as you get baskets which have things like the jewels corresponding to the color of the pet, which you can go and move into colored pet food. It also drops white pet food that can be used on any pet, color pet food corresponding to the color of the pet, as well as the pet itself at a very low chance. As far as these battles, let's go and get into some teams now. So let's go straight over to the Pet Rescue. We're going to be showing 3 teams, only using 2 of course though, because we only have 2 battles remaining. I only wanted to show the last 2, as they are the hardest 2. This is what I normally use. We are going to be right here with the Gorgotha, Diviner, Infernus, and Divine Ishpala. Infernus and Divine Ishpala both are craftable this week. Basically, the whole premise of this team is a granite skin with the mass explosion. We have Diviner for the yellow mana generation here, as well as the chance at cleanse and additional bonuses. We have Infernus here for high impact damage through its ability over here, which ends up hitting a lot of split damage, as well as a bunch of explosions I will be able to do on top of burn, on top of a perpetual storm. And we have Divine Ishpala giving all those divines half mana start, as well as just a nice skull convert. This is not one of the 3 teams we'll be doing though. This is just the one that I wanted to show, as it is the one I've been using the most commonly. The one I really want to show is this one. We go under brown, yellow, and well, actually I do need Alchemist, so that works out, even though I misclicked that. And we are going to need a Bullet, a Cockatrice, and a Dragonian Monk. Come on, Dragonian Monk. And there we go. And as far as our banner, we'll want to move this over to a which way? See, we need we already have the +1 red. So I guess technically we could just go all in on yellow. Either or would really work, I guess. Let's see, isn't there a minus banner to that? Pretty sure there is. There's the one I'm looking for. The +1 red, +2 yellow, -1 green, because we don't need the green at all for this team. So basically, what on earth is this team? It's obviously very, very similar in color. We actually have 4 brown on it. It's a early game team that has basically every component we need that is going to be able to go and function. We have a rare, an ultra rare, a rare, and an ultra rare, all of which are going to be really easy for the average player to obtain, probably within their first week or first month of playing. As far as the Cockatrice, why do we need this? It has entangle and it has a full mana drain. Entangle is good because they won't be able to do attack damage to us. The mana drain will be good because it will make sure they can't cast against us, both of which will be very, very high damage. I'd also be able to create brown, which is good because literally our entire team uses brown, and its boost ratio based on how much mana we drain. So let's say we drain 12 mana, that would be 3 additional gems, meaning we'd get a 12 total, or a 9 total brown spawn, which is pretty decent. And of course, the higher the mana cost you drain on, the higher or the more browns you get onto the board. What's also pretty nice about this is he has an air link, and given how much yellow we have on this team, that would be quite beneficial. And other than that, if you happen to keep doing this onto the first slot on the opposing team, which more often than not you should be, you'll get the entangle on it, making sure that they can't hit you with skulls, but you'll also be doing 2 times damage with your skulls. The Cockatrice has a pretty low base attack rate, but still it's going to be able to hit through them. You'll also be able to get a, I believe, 4 armor bonus, or even higher if you have the little pet thing to give you extra on top of your stats that you already have, which will hopefully help you survive at least 1 hit against their skulls, if not 2. As far as the bullet, this is the thing that this entire team is built around. He knocks the first enemy to the back and then deals damage to the new first enemy, so basically the second enemy, or the new first. And also, the main thing that's the whole reason why we use it, it's the best Devour in early game. It has a 50% chance to Devour if and only if there are 13 or more Browns on the board. We'll be able to use a Cockatrice for this purpose in order to put more Browns onto the board. Once our first slot dies of the Cockatrice, if it does go down, we have a bunch of immunities here that are pretty useful too, like Devour and Stun, and we have 50% score reduction to make sure they don't kill us in one shot. Hopefully it'll be able to survive about 3 to 4 shots. I believe mine will be able to survive quite a bit. And if you get even one Devour, this will basically make this troop immune. You get to steal their attack, you get to steal their armor, and you get to steal their HP. And between the 50% reduction, you'll have the same stats of them, but capable of tanking a lot more skulls than they will be able to, meaning essentially the bullet itself could solo the entire enemy team. The Alchemist here is mainly to feed all of our other 3 troops that need yellow. It transforms a select color to yellow. It also gives us some gold, which is pretty irrelevant for this. The most relevant part is if you get it double traded, it does have a fire link, which is quite mandatory to basically have. Out of everything that needs traits on this team, this is one of the biggest ones, mainly because this allows you to fill your Alchemist in 2 turns using the +1 red of this banner. Even if you don't get a single surge, 2 reds, because you have a +5 total, will end up giving you full mana into your Alchemist. And this is particularly useful earlier on in the game because your surge chance to surge on a 3 is going to only be around like 10 to 30%, and you won't really have it that high. We're at like 66% or something like that, but of course earlier on it'd be way lower. As far as the Dragonian Monk, the whole reason for this guy is for board control. Really weird, strange ability that's kind of hard to use, but it destroys gems in an X shape, and this is destroy, so that does mean you accumulate all the mana from it. Not to mention, you'd also accumulate all the mana from the cascades themselves, and since it is destroy, you could target it on skulls too to be able to do some damage. But the main thing that you need for this is it barriers a random ally for every yellow destroyed. So if you hit 4 yellows, you'll barrier your entire team. Barrier protects against 1 full instance of damage, making it very easy to go and protect your entire team from damage. If you're going to be one-shot by every single thing that these things are doing because your stats are so low, you'll be able to use your Dragonian Monk to not die to them. Do keep in mind that pet rescues have an infinite amount of battles, so we can just keep throwing battles at it in order to basically win. So if we get a bad starting board or we die like really quickly on one of these, just simply retreat from the battle, go right back in, and as long as you complete them all within the hour, or in the case of the 24-hour one, complete it within the 24 hours, it doesn't matter how many times you lose them. You can lose them 20 times and it'll still be fine. I'm not bothering to repick this time around because it seems like a okay starting board. Not the greatest, but we'll be able to make it work, at least with our stats. But do keep in mind, for the sake of time, I won't do it now, but do keep in mind that you may have to repick anywhere upwards to like a dozen or 2 times in order to do these final few battles with this team. But eventually you will get a good enough board where you'll get a quick Devour on this guy and you will be able to go and win it out. So right here, a little bit of a bad board. I don't want that yellow because I don't want it taking a skull. Again, we do need to keep our Cockatrice alive. Even this late in the game with how high my stats are, we still die in 3 hits to these things, so still have to be very careful. So right there, we'll go throw the Cockatrice down, get quite a bit of our Browns. We do have enough Browns right now to get a Devour off of him. Unfortunately, we did not have the full amount of mana on him to actually be able to cast. So right here, we don't have a Cascade for this, so we'll just go hit it with a Skull. As I mentioned earlier, since we did it on first slot, not only will it not be able to do Skull damage against us, we will also be able to go and do 50 damage to it if we so choose to take that Skull. But now that I think about it, I think I'm actually going to go for mana instead. Not in a way that's going to give him a Skull, though, obviously. But I kind of want to go right into this Devour. So is there enough Brown? No. He ends up taking a Brown himself, so that's a little bit unfortunate. Looks like now we will have to go for the Skull. We really want to save this guy for when there's 13 or more Browns. Casting him prior to that basically defeats the whole purpose of even using him in the first place. And he keeps taking Brown. Okay, this is a little bit bad. He keeps taking the exact color we need to have on the board. So we can go and drain it. Oh, no, we can't. That thing has immune to mana drain. Well, normally we'd be able to go and drain it. We'll have to go and barrier up and play it a little bit safer, it looks like, this time around. Well, we have 13 plus yellow. Too bad that's not the color we need. So right here, Dragonian Monk, very easy troop, especially with an Alchemist in order to get full barrier on. Looks like we have it right here. Not going to go and do it too planned out, so I'll just go for that. It does look like he gets a little bit of stat reduction. He gets a web on that too, though this has no effect on it because nothing is actually based on magic on this troop, so don't really mind him doing that. Again, we don't have anywhere near enough purple onto the board. One thing that we can go do, or not enough brown on the board, we can just go and remove all that, keep taking moves until we hopefully just get more browns to fall down. Might take us a little while. We can also go and throw a Cockatrice on something that can actually be drained, so of course in this particular instance we can't go and drain that thing. Again, we can, with this, destroy. So every skull that we destroy, we do get the value out of, meaning that we can go destroy this right now to go and hit that Doom Skull if we so choose. And I think I might be doing that just to apply a little bit of damage to him. I believe we can also take a skull. As weird as it may seem, we can go and basically... oh, no, we can't. Never mind. I was going to try taking that Doom Skull and take that simultaneously. If we throw an X over here, it'll drop... you can see right there, if we throw an X, it'll drop those two and give us that skull. Unfortunately, we can't hit both the Doom Skull and that simultaneously. So you know what? I'm going to do it over here. This will make sure he doesn't get a Doom Skull while also simultaneously still getting us that skull right there. It would also get us 2 barriers if we weren't already buried. But as you can see, we'll get that skull right there, kill that out. And unfortunately, he gets a Doom Skull off the top, but it only hits on our barrier. So that's going to keep us so he doesn't really get to do anything there. We go try for another Alchemist, which I believe I'm going to do. As you can see, we just keep applying barriers, making sure we don't die by doing that. We have a Doom Skull here. Not sure if I'm going to go and re-barrier or actually go for that Doom Skull. Let's see. We have a couple different X shapes we could do here. Need to make sure it's actually in the crosshairs of everything, though, if we end up doing it. Doesn't look like we have enough for a guarantee, at least off of that one. There's such an easy way to get so many 4s off of this, but I want to obviously hit the Doom Skull if we're going to bother doing that. So in this case, I don't think I'm going to go do that, because I want to keep as many browns on the board as we can right here. So I'm going to move this over. All this isn't going to destroy a single brown when we go and take it. So I'll go get that. And I believe we finally have enough browns onto the board, and yes we do. Before I do though, I will go kill him out with that Doom Skull. He did just get a summon and it got to full mana. We can just go kill that out like that. Pretty nice cascade. And that should be 13 plus. Now we can actually do what we've been trying to do this entire time. So this has a 50% chance to devour every single time we cast, and as you can see, we end up getting that devour. Look at these stats, and regardless of what level you are, this could be a level 1 bullet and it would still do the exact same thing. Or of course slightly lower, because it just steals whatever their stats is and adds it to your own. But 74 attack, 124 armor, and 148 HP. Of course, that's only 50% chance, but assuming you get it, it's going to be very effective to say the least. But yeah, that is really huge. You basically just take whatever their stats is. Now, if you want, you can just let your Cockatrice die, then just keep taking skulls, and eventually you will win out this battle simply just from taking skulls. Keep using your Dragonian Monk so you don't die. Of course, if you have it fully traded, though it's not required, you will have Stone Skin, so they do even less damage to you. And at this point, you just solo the entire battle with a bullet. So at this point, I will actually let my Cockatrice die, just because I need this battle to speed up a little bit, so we can go show the other team as well. The other one's a little bit more mid-range, uses a few legends. I think I actually showed it in the earlier video as well. But we'll go and get a monk down here. Just go... Actually, I shouldn't have thrown that monk. I'm burying him. No, I need it to go down. Okay. We don't have any way to actually move our thing up. I guess we'll try for another devour. Oh, never mind. We need 13 plus brown. Yeah, do keep in mind, it's 2 requirements for it. You need 13 plus brown, plus you need to actually get the 50% roll of it to hit. So I guess we'll just keep using X's on not brown and try doing it out that way. We have an extra turn just sitting there too, and it's a bunch of barriers, so we'll go for that, I guess. Go for that extra turn. I was hoping we could apply some skull damage. Apparently not. You can throw this just for the damage off the base ability, though, again. Not really getting much value unless you're particularly getting the Devour off of it. So I'll take that. Hopefully he doesn't go into another brown. He gets a lot of mana there, but we're 1 brown short. Never mind. We didn't get what we wanted. That definitely looked like it was enough, but apparently not. Luckily, we can go and throw an Alchemist there, and that does indeed give us 1 brown. Please devour. And that, as you can see there, it did not devour that time. Oh, he's moving my things more towards the back. No, what are you doing? You're gonna make this battle take forever. But you get the general premise. Actually, so much so, I think I'm just gonna retreat for the sake of time. You get what's gonna happen here. It's gonna take forever at this point, but eventually we will win off that bullet's basically incapability of dying. The only thing that could really kill it is Death Mark, because it has immune to devour. But there's 2 things it doesn't have immune to, though the one of them, it barely ever comes up. It's things that have instant kill and things that have Death Mark. Though do keep in mind, barrier just protect against Death Mark, so then the only thing you really have to worry about is instant kill. But yeah, it's pretty much immune to everything. And all we'd have to do is just keep playing this battle out until we won. Though, at this rate, it's going to take like 10 minutes due to the team he has. So, we'll skip that for now. And let's go over to the next team then. This is a team I've shown many times in the past, but it is definitely really relevant if you do have some or most of the components. The general premise of this team is using a Great Maul. So if you have a Great Maul, you will be able to get away with this. So I guess we'll be able to show another team then, since we actually didn't do the other battle. So let's actually use a different one here then. Let's go use the another one that I've shown before, but it's still definitely, how do you spell dwarf? Gosh. It's still definitely really relevant in this circumstance. So it is Double Dwarven Gate Valkyrie Tesla. This does unfortunately require 1 Tesla, but if you do own this, it should be able to win pretty easily. So we're going to be going right into a claw banner, wherever that is. And I'm so bad at finding the banners, even though they're in alphabetical order. And let's get into this. So basically, same premise as before in a way, where we're basically going to be barrier spamming until we get our core troop up. In this case, instead of using a bullet as our main core troop, we are now using a Tesla as our core troop. So we're basically just get Valkyrie up as immediately as possible. You then throw a Valkyrie down. Oops, forgot to take that. You then throw a Valkyrie down if you have alignment. Even if you don't, might still be worth going. So like right here, I guess I'll do it on purple so we can go get all that mana going. Apparently that was an extra turn, didn't see it. But we'll go move that over. That gives us all the way back to full mana. We'll now just go throw Double Dwarven Gate. This keeps us protected and everything. We actually already have Tesla up, so before I do that, let me go throw a Tesla down. And basically, you just keep repeating with Tesla. The reason why this works is Tesla does true damage, and it's boosted based on all your armor, but also based on all the enemy armor. So even though they're getting stronger, your attack is also basically at the same ratio, getting just as strong as their increase in strength. So you'd still be able to do about the same amount of damage as you always would be able to do with a Tesla, since you're just using their own stats against them, similar to a devour strategy, except ever so slightly different. So we can easily just go throw the double gates. That gives you a full Valkyrie every single time. This gives you barrier, of course, too. It gives a bunch of armor, which helps give Tesla even more damage, and is boosted based on dwarves, which you even have on your team for a little bit extra. It gives all your other allies barriers, so everything except itself, and it gives 5 mana to all other allies, and every single one of these troops is divisible by 5. 10 mana cost, 10, 10, and 15, so it works out very well. And yeah, you just keep repeating that. Throw Tesla, double Dwarven Gate, Valkyrie to get them back up, Tesla again, and repeat until you win. And that's all you have to do. You have enough barriers to basically survive it out. Maybe take a Doom Skull if you see it there, take extra turns if you see it, just so they don't get it. Take the Valkyrie whenever you have it, just to get everything up. Keep throwing Tesla down, and you basically just repeat this over and over again. Occasionally, you might get out-damaged initially, but again, you have infinite tries out these battles, so you can just keep restarting your battle until you eventually win it out. And that team is relatively cheap, with the exception of the Tesla. It's a common, a rare, and a legend, so the only hard thing to obtain is the Tesla from it. And now for the final one, which is the other one I was going to show. It is a standard Mercy Great Maul team. As far as the extra troops that you put into this, that really depends on what you actually have. Of course, the core of this team is Mercy Great Maul. You can also, if you don't have a fully traded Mercy, try substituting a Alchemist to do the same thing, though it will be slightly worse with an Alchemist, so do keep that in mind. So as far as our bonus, we'll just go put that right into a double yellow over here, wherever that is hiding from us. Just a standard double yellow. We don't need Talon Banner. Well, I guess we technically could go Talon Banner, but it's not going to make that big of a difference though. And of course, any other 2 troops here, though if you want to go as optimal as you can, if you do own it, it is Infernus and Shegra. And pretty much standard Great Maul team, and any variant of it. The core of the team, of course, is Great Maul with a yellow mana generator that can feed it very quickly, or really any mana generator. I guess you could technically use Apothecary here too, if you didn't have it, and go more of a Great Maul, Apothecary, something else, and Shegra as your team as well. So you could also go down that route. But we'll be doing this, basically going directly into a Great Maul as quickly as possible. Again, you have infinite tries, so if you are using the Mercy variant, fully traded, what you can do is, if you don't have alignment on this board, just click retreat and just keep doing this until you get a good starting board, and you'll get the same battle every single time. It'll be really easy. Why is it not letting me retreat? There it goes. As you can see, we have as many tries as we want, so if you don't get the right starting board that you want, really easy to use Mercy effectively. So you can see here, a little bit better than before, but still not a amazing board. So again, we'll just retreat, go right back in. Doesn't take any time at all. It's a lot quicker to retreat than it is to play it out when you don't have a good starting board. You don't have to be doing this, of course. I normally don't, but again, if you're struggling with these, feel free to keep abusing that. There's nothing against the rules of doing that. You're going to be battling a lot of times anyways if you're naturally losing, so you might as well just keep retreating until you get the best starting board you can, and that's particularly noteworthy when using empowered troops, since they get to start with full mana immediately. And as you can see, in turn 2, we ended up getting a Great Maul from repicking a bunch of times. We'll now just devour something that has the best stats on his team, so I guess the highest attack value would be best. So in this case, it would be the Knight. Well, technically him, but he has immune to devour. Don't accidentally try devouring something with immune to devour. Do be careful of that. There are some troops that do have immunity to it. Actually, I almost devoured this one too. Doesn't he have immune to? No, he has immune to disease. But anyways, as you can see, we get to steal all their stats from a Devourer. Pretty much same thing as the Bullet team, except better, though of course way more expensive. This current team is a Legend, a Epic, a Legend, and a Legend, though the core of the team is a Legend and a Epic fully traded. Or if you don't want to go the empowered Mercy route because you don't have it, you can use the Ultra Rare of Apothecary there, or the Rare of an Alchemist, and both of those would be sufficient. And now we just get Inferno King in there if we have the alignment. It's brown to red and yellow to, green to skull, neither of which we actually have. So I guess we'll just pass our turn until we get better alignment on the board. And is that it? No. Go take that. Oh yeah, why didn't I take the skull? I even saw that there too. I don't know why I left it there. We'll take that skull. And as you can see, with his stats, or the stats that we stole from them, it is really easy just to plow down his entire team. I guess we'll move that down. Looking really good to take here. Gonna have to pass a few turns just until we get it, but really easy win. And I guess we'll go take that and hopefully get alignment. We'll move that over. We got a bunch of yellows. And then we just need to throw one Inferno King in there, and that will be that. I guess we'll get a Mercy just to go and get our cleanses. It also removes Entangle too, if we happen to have been entangled for whatever reason from him putting that status effect on or anything else doing that effect. And we can just kill it out that way. Not a free turn, but definitely way more than enough damage to kill it out with 100-something attack on the Great Maul. And yeah, those are a couple teams that you can be using to fight all these out. And go get yourself the guarantee 100% pet at the end there. Oh wow, we actually ended up getting another lucky pet. We got 3 lucky pets this time around on this. Normally I don't get any from baskets, but yeah, baskets do have a chance of giving you the pet as well. The final battle is just a 100% chance that you'll end up getting it. But yeah, I guess lucky's pretty lucky, haha. Anyways, guys, that'll wrap it up. If you still have any other questions about teams that you should be using or anything else, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, or if you know of any other ones that are really good that I didn't mention. Some of them would be things related around Mang, basically anything with instant kill, anything with devour, anything with barrier spam, and anything with mana drain tend to be the best kind of things to put within a team if you are struggling to do these battles. And of course, if you're not struggling, just use whatever your normal PvP team is, and it'll probably be quicker than some of these. But anyways, that's everything. Still have any other questions, leave them below. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a wonderful day, everyone.